That's still one of the great stories ever. Did you ever meet? Did you ever meet Billy and talk to him?
No, I haven't. No.
I mean, in a weird way, he kind of kept the brand alive. And somebody was touring. It was the first tribute band, but they actually called themselves the Zombies, not Odessey and Oracle. Coming back to this amazing album, which, by the way, is misspelled. How did that happen, Chris?
We were, Rod and I were sharing a flat with, I was at art college with a friend, and he said, oh, I'll come up with an idea for the cover. And Rod and I were so busy working that we didn't notice that he'd spelt it wrong.
he just put out the first scheme of it.
That's right.
And it was very psychedelic, and we absolutely loved it. And I think we were on tour actually, and we said, just go ahead and finish it. And the record company loved it, but when we got back, they said, oh, it's all finished, will you come in and approve it? They actually said that we'd come in and approve it. So we walked in, and we looked at it, and we absolutely loved it, but we said to each other, he spelled it wrong. So we said to the guy, well, he's just got to change that. And the guy from the record company said, no, it's all, it's all done and dusted. We haven't got any more money for this, so it has to go out like it is. And I said to Chris, what the hell are we going to do? So I said, I'll tell you what, we'll make up this story that it's an ode, it's a play on words, ode, and a journey in song, and that was the sort of slightly shaky thing that we said. But the thing is, that's what we told Colin as well.
I can't believe it, and I believed it at the time. This is 1966.
Are you serious?
I believed it, and then we were doing an interview like this.
When we were together in this new... Oh no, it was just before that, wasn't it? In 99 or something.
It's just a few years ago, and in the interview, he let it slip that it was a mistake, and he made up this rather shaky story to cover it. And I said to him, Rod, bloody hell, mate. You've been telling me that story for 40 years. Couldn't you have at least confided in me?
I'm singing the bloody thing.
Yeah, I sang the whole bloody record and I believed the story. Never trust Rod Argent.
But trust him about a great song, like Time of the Season, which one of the first interviews that I did, the man who sang it, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Mr. Bloodstone over here, hated it.
I didn't like it. I didn't hate it. I thought it was fairly ordinary, actually. And
really?
We felt the same thing about you.
Well, the thing is that it was the last song that we recorded on the album. It was finished in the morning before we recorded it. So to be honest, I didn't really know the tune. So the fact that I didn't like it might be something to do with the fact I didn't even know the bloody tune. And we went into the studio and we were running out of time. And I remember when I was singing it, there was a big clock, right? There was a red light in front, so I knew we were recording. That was on my mind. Then there was a big clock, and at Abbey Road you couldn't overrun. I knew we were running out of time. So I was panicking to get this thing right. Rob was in the control room, and he was very kindly leading me through the song and saying, the phrasing wasn't quite right. Colin, can you just try that again? Can we just get a little bit, and it's getting more and more heated. So, can I use a little bit of language?
Yes, you can.
So I'm saying, listen, if you're so bloody clever, you bloody come in here and you bloody sing it. And he said to me, of course everyone can hear, this is in the control, it's not just me in here, everyone can hear. And he said to me, you're the bloody lead singer, you stand there till you get it bloody right. So this is what's going on in the background while I'm singing. It's the time of the season for loving.
We also have to say, this was Rod's and my first production. We were fed up with not hearing the songs as we wrote them. So that album is totally the first time we were producing.
Where you were producing with Jeff on the board and creating it exactly the way you wanted.
Yes, and it was, in those days, before digital stuff, it was often three hands on
as you're fading up and down and mixing. And they talked about the magic of Abbey Road, but as Rod said, it's very, very proper. So proper that when a break comes, when it was time for a break, if you tell that story, weren't you in the middle of it?
I think it was, there's a song called Changes, which if you've got the album, it's the first track on the second side. And there were so many harmonies in it. It's the only song that we got everyone singing. Hugh was singing, that was...
Very happily, I was singing the bass line alongside Paul. So
Yes,
that helped.
so we were all singing, but we were singing round this grand piano. So the red light's on, and that means you do not go into the studio. When the red light's on, no one goes in. We're singing round this piano, and the clock went to 1 o'clock, and the sessions were very strictly from 10 till 1. And as soon as the hand went to 1 o'clock, these guys came in, and they all dressed collar and tie, long brown coats. So they were the guys that moved things in the brown coats. And we're actually singing this song, and they walk in and they start moving the bloody piano out. Right, to me, Fred. And we're still singing the song. Now, I like to think that somewhere in the background you can hear this. To me, Fred, over here. I'm not sure if you can quite hear it, but that did happen.
And we had to use it because all we had was £1,000 to record the whole album.
Are you serious?
That's it.
Yeah.
It was recorded for £1,000. So when they moved the piano, we kept singing. We just kept singing.
And then when we finished the album, we'd used up the £1,000, right? And CBS said, yeah, it sounds great, we really like it. Okay, stereo is becoming really important now. You've got to go and do some stereo mixes. And we looked at each other and we said, well, okay, we're not used to doing this, but we'll have a go. You know, it's the first time we'll be doing it. And we said, okay, can you book the studio? And they said, well, you've run out of budget. You'll have to pay for that yourselves.
Oh my God.
So £200 was put aside to do some very quick stereo mixes, and that's how the stereo version came out. I must say my favourite version is still the mono version of that time.
And by the way, I asked them to come. These guys are exhausted. They haven't slept, so they're not going to sit outside and sign. But they have already pre-signed a number of albums and things, and there is a box set of all the vinyl that is out there. It's absolutely gorgeous. What after this? So they're going to be on Jimmy Fallon Monday night. They'll be on the Tonight Show. And you know, you work too hard. I know you're not going to stop. There isn't any quit in you. What happens after this weekend? What happens next?
We get back to working on the first two songs that have already been written for the new album, and we're try and get all that done this year.
Actually, obviously the main thing is we're starting a new album, but when the other guys fly back to London, I fly to Scotland, because the next day I start a solo tour going all the way through the UK. So I'm not even going to go home at the end of this. I'm going straight to Scotland, which is the top bit of the UK. And then we're gradually going to zigzag all the way down back to London, which is where I live. So I'm going to be on my knees in about 10 days' time.
He's insane, and it's the break before all this. He was at City Winery doing a solo tour. You just don't stop. Chris, what about you guys? What's up for you after this?
There is something in the pipeline. We're not allowed to say anything, but we are coming back to this country. That's all I'm going to say.
And it's
You can say you can tell who it's with, but you can't say the details.
no, we can say it's a collaboration of some sort with Brian Wilson.
Whoa! Well, now you spilled like all the beans. I mean, we really...
That's all we're allowed to say then.
Okay.
It's a kind of collaboration with Brian Wilson, and we're really, really looking forward to it.
That's going to be amazing. And hopefully this new album, you have more than £1,000, or is that always your max limit?
No, we can't quite match £1,000 for this one.
And change.
Your music has meant so much to me, to all of us. It is a sound, not just of our generation, but truly, I say it from my heart, the reason Odessey and Oracle is alive and well and thrilling people, the sound you created, the music, the songs, the stories, are timeless. Thank you. Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, Rod Archer, Colin Blunstone, Chris White, Hugh Grundy, The Zombie,